In this world, the greatest power is never a sudden explosion. It is a cycle. Think about it. An explosion is merely the end of energy. But a cycle is how energy achieves eternal life. You can see this breathing in the world around you every single day. It's in the 24-hour rhythm of day and night, and the 365-day rotation of the seasons. This is the most intuitive breath of nature. But what if I told you there is a much more precise pendulum driving everything behind the scenes? Just look at the moon. Its waxing and waning pulls the very tides of our oceans. That is the Earth's pulse. Look at a seed. It breaks the soil, blooms, withers, and returns to dust. That is the circle of life. Even the 28-day rhythm of a woman's body is the original tempo of creation itself. You see, in this universe, every system repeats. There are no exceptions. We often think the world is rushing blindly forward in a straight line. But in truth, it is simply returning to the same point with perfect precision. The underlying logic of the universe contains no straight lines. There are only circles, layered upon circles. Since everything has a rhythm, it only makes sense that someone would eventually decode it. Thousands of years ago, ancient observers in the East tracked the movement of the stars and the pulse of the earth to summarize a precise law of time. To our modern eyes, this doesn't look like primitive folklore. It looks more like an operating manual left behind by a highly advanced civilization. They discovered that the rise and fall of human society is not random chaos. Instead, it moves in perfect 20-year cycles. This isn't a mystical incantation. It's a macro algorithm for how global energy is distributed. To help you see how this law shapes our reality, let's turn back the clock for a moment. Let's examine the circle that just closed, starting with the year 1984. From 1984 to 2003, the world was vibrating on the frequency of metal. In nature, when metal strikes metal, it creates a sharp, ringing sound. Because of this, the time frequency of those 20 years was locked into voice, eloquence, and entertainment. It was an era where sound conquered the world. It was the golden age of global icons like Michael Jackson and Madonna, where a single voice could become the strongest currency on earth. If you owned a microphone, whether in a radio station or on a talk show stage, you owned the world. Even the technology of that time followed this logic. We leapt from paper letters to mobile phones and satellite TV. In this script, the logic of success was lightness. If you were good at expression and connection, the tide pushed you to the top. But as we know, every circle eventually closes. In 2004, the cosmic season shifted dramatically. We moved from light metal to heavy earth. This was period 8. If the previous era was about flowing sound, this one was about solid matter. The logic became brutally simple. Whoever owned the land owned the wealth. For 20 years, we lived in a race of material gravity. Wealth flowed automatically toward anything related to the earth. Real estate developers became the new gods, and every brick stacked reflected the frenzy of capital. We became obsessed with solid homes and physical retail locations. The logic of success here was possession. As long as you held onto the earth, the algorithm poured value into your hands. But here is the thing, there are no straight lines. By the end of 2023, this heavy energy reached its absolute limit. The real estate myth has finished its mission. If you find that property is stalling and physical shops are struggling, don't just blame the economy. The truth is, the cosmic season has changed. The era of heavy matter is over. Heavy earth is now being ignited by fire. In 2024, the world system officially restarted into period 9. Fire represents light, energy, and civilization. It is everything that is invisible, yet warm. While wealth used to be hidden in concrete, for the next 20 years, it is moving into the cloud and the human heart. This is why AI is exploding. Wealth no longer depends on land. It depends on data and algorithms. It's also an era of beauty and spirit. Visual design, personal brands, and deep psychological healing are no longer optional. They are the new core demands. Most importantly, period 9 is the age of the mature woman. The old male logic of force and scale is losing its grip. It's being replaced by intuition, empathy, and the power of connection. In this new script, success has shifted from possession to transmission. If you try to stay heavy, you will be burned. You must learn to be light. You must learn to shine, to connect, and to manage your energy field rather than just your company. But what happens after the fire? What happens 20 years from now? In 2043, the last flame will fade, and the world will enter a period of profound calm. This will be period 1, the era of water. If fire is loud and upward, water is silent and deep. Humanity will move away from algorithms and return to the essence of life. Our children will explore the depths of life sciences and the ocean of consciousness. Wealth will transform from shining to flowing. It is a time for the world to purify itself, using wisdom to nourish the soul. Many people ask me, "Are you predicting the future?" My answer is no. In this circular universe, we don't create predictions. We decode laws. I have simply learned how to translate this high-dimensional algorithm, this ancient operating manual, into the language we speak today. Mastering these laws is not about chasing profit. It is about positioning yourself with grace so you are never blindsided by the changing seasons. If you want to connect with this ancient frequency and start positioning your own life, remember these coordinates: Oriental energy 1314.